Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Thank you for joining us. It's time for Well, happy Monday evening. Thank you for joining us again. Welcome to the show that exists because we want you to be in the know. This is already episode number 6. We're on to 2 hands now. If this is your first or you haven't watched 5 previous episodes, you're missing out. A way to find those episodes is either on YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel, First Baptist Church Silsbee, and you can see all of the episodes there, or you can go to our Facebook page and you can see all of the episodes there. Either way, there's ways to find all 5 previous episodes, and they're all really good stuff. So go watch those episodes so you can be fully in the know so far with what has been happening within the life of First Baptist Church of Silsbee. Not just for the knowledge, but for taking it from the knowledge, put it to the heart, and letting it pour out and actually do something with that stuff that we're talking about. Tonight's going to be a lot of fun because, let's see here, for 4 episodes, we had 1 guest. Well, Maggie co-hosted with me one of those nights. Last week, we had 2 guests, but tonight, oh boy, we have a treat because we have more than just 1 or 2 guests. That's right, our guest tonight is the only, it's the worship team. There we are. And really not the full worship team. We're missing just a couple of faces, but here before us are some members, majority of the members of the worship team at First Baptist Church of Silsbee that leads our congregation, our Sunday morning services every week. Many of us also lead Wednesday night services for our youth ministry, Saturday night services for our young adult ministry, with a whole slew of other things thrown in there as well that we get to do. So you've probably seen these faces if you watched an online service or if you've been in person. You've seen probably all of these faces, and they're all amazing at what they do. So I'm not going to talk for just a second, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves, their name, and then what they do on our worship team. Go ahead.
I'm Samantha Brawley. I go by Sam. I am a vocalist and the guitarist on the group, and I also help with Wednesday night music, or kind of organize it, and got some wonderful people to help me. And then I am the student pastor's wife. I'm TJ's wife, and we're living the dream here.
Living the dream!
Living the dream.
I am Amy Carpenter, and I am vocals on the worship team because I don't really know how to play anything at all. But I'm married to the pastor, Mark Carpenter, and I teach high school girls Sunday school, and I work with the ladies ministry.
I'm Mary Scroggins. My friends call me Susie. I recently just started the praise team. Yay! Made my year, October. I am back up. You'll see me over there. Back up. Learning how to play in Ray's group, playing guitar and keyboard, so I will not be up here because I'm still learning, but that is okay. So I'm passing it on to Will.
And I am Will, and I'm behind the backup.
The backup to the backup?
Backup to the backup. And anyway, I've been in the praise team since we started the praise team, but and before that I was in the choir for a while, for most of my life, I guess. And I don't remember how long ago that was. So I don't remember a lot of things these days.
And we love you for it, Will. We love you for it.
I also try to teach old men in Sunday school. So, but then I'm going to pass it on to Cole over here.
Hello, I'm Cole Copley, and I play bass and sing on occasion, when forced mainly, but no, because I love to do it. I help with the youth ministry and just kind of help where needed.
Hi, I'm Camden Copley. I play drums right now, but I play various different things. I've been in the worship ministry on the praise team since it started. But unlike Will, I was not in choir before that because I cannot sing a lick. So
So, yeah, woo. So he sings extra loud in the microphone for us, yeah. All right, this is some of our awesome worship team. Worship team is part of our umbrella ministry called the Creative Arts Ministry. And that's kind of a new term that we've been using here at First Baptist Church. And so I just want to share a very simplified version of a definition of a creative arts ministry. I'm going to read it so I don't mess up. Creative arts is an umbrella term that's used to describe the many artistic methods that we use to worship God, share the gospel, and to ultimately grow in faith. Some methods that we currently use are music, live production, pre-recorded production, photography, videography, dance, graphic design, theater, drama, and other visual arts such as drawing, painting, sketching, and the likes of that. With that said, this is just a few of our creative arts team members. Many of them are always behind the camera and would prefer to stay that way. Some of them are not here tonight, and some of them serve at other times other than Sunday mornings. So I'm just going to name off, I think, the people that are currently a part of our creative arts team. We have Sam, we have Will, Susie, Amy Hawthorne, not here tonight, Amy Carpenter, Camden, Cole, myself, Daniel Hawk, Jake Strahan, Logan Brown, Don Hawk, Emily King, James Ferguson, Maggie Hawk, Maria Canjimmy, Kylie Copley, Caitlin King, and Tom Hawk. I sure hope I didn't miss him. I read that like 100 times, hoping I did not miss a single name because they're all important to do amazing things, amazing job at what they do. So it's a huge team, and you only see just a handful of us, but it's a huge team that makes all of our services and events happen at First Baptist Church. And that's just within the music, technical, artistic world. There's so much more to do, and I'm not going to share a call to action just yet, but know that there's room for you within that team and within new areas to serve on the creative arts team. That's kind of creative arts. I wanted to give you the opportunity. I was like, sorry, one of those great creative arts team members is giving me a very subtle hint of someone that I forgot to mention who has just recently joined our creative arts team, and that's Shelly Tolbert. We love her. Thank you, Shelly, for all that you do as she's here tonight. She's awesome and amazing, as are all of our team members, mentioned or not mentioned, okay? I want you guys to hear from just a little bit of the hearts of our team members and get a little look at the inside personality of who we are, that we are real people, and that even if you just see us on stage singing or just playing an instrument and you don't ever get to really talk to us, real people living real lives, hoorah, okay? So I hope that you get to hear our hearts just a little bit from us. So I'm going to ask some prompting questions to our team, and we'll see what their responses are. And so no particular order how you can respond, just respond with what you feel led to respond with. All right, so here's first question, number one, and that is, I know, Will, you already mentioned it, but answer it again, is how long have you guys individually served on the worship team? And maybe not just specifically this worship team, but within maybe music ministry or a creative ministry throughout your life. How long have you served?
Okay. Here, music, well, since we've been here, so 7 years. Part of that was choir, but I think the praise team since it started, I'm not really even sure how long that's been now. 2 years?
Yeah.
But I've been singing in church forever.
Yeah.
I don't want to say how long that is, but good long while.
A short season, yes. Okay, gotcha. I like that. Anybody else want to share how long you've been a part?
Like I said, I've been on the praise team for a year now, but I've been singing since I was 7 with my mom, and I'm not 7 now, so it's been a while.
All right.
I have been here for about 2 years now, ever since Ray very subtly pushed us in this direction. It was oh so subtle, and glad to be here since.
Yeah. I'll chime in there. For those of you that don't know, and the reason why a couple of them are like 2 years after being a part of the worship team is because this worship team, the things that we're kind of currently doing, started just after COVID happened. And so when COVID hit, we did outdoor services for about 3 months, and that was a whole new world in and of itself. But when we moved indoors, about a month after moving indoors, our longtime accompanist, they retired. And so that meant that some other people got to step up and do what needed to be done. Hence, the people that you see here said, we will take on the challenge of doing this. And here we are 2 years later, still going strong. Camden? Not to ruin your answer.
Well, pretty much the same thing. I've been I've been on the praise team for about 2 years now. I was in band for about 6 years, 7 years before that, but it did not prepare me for this kind of band at all. So,
And Mr. Will, you shared a long time. You've been a long time choir member.
Probably longer than anybody on this stage has been alive.
Yeah.
So,
You served in the
For real.
choir for,
yeah.
I'm not going to say forever, but a season.
Because I started in choir probably when I was about 15 or 14.
All right, gotcha. Miss Sam?
Well, first of all, I was gonna say that I think that there's some recognition that is in order, because when we started doing this as a group, you taught them how to play their instruments, and this amount of time later, they are going strong at it. So when you talk about people stepping up, we had people that came in that didn't know how to play and asked to learn, and that's all it takes is a willing heart.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Cameron and Cole were lay volunteers serving in another area of the church. And I asked a simple question of, hey, if we were to start a band, would you guys be a part? Well, we don't know how to play, but yeah. And so we said, well, starting this week, we're going to learn how to play something, right? And so sure enough, we did. Spent hours and hours. And we thought, oh, weeks down the road, we'll work this into the rotation. Well, we kind of did a little audition before Associate Pastor, Brother Tom. And he said, this week, right?
Yeah.
This Sunday, we're all in. And we've been all in
Yeah.
since then.
So there's subtlety. It does not come without some sacrifice here, because they have learned and worked hard, and we appreciate that.
Absolutely. And just share briefly about kind of my history. The first praise team that I ever got to serve on was here at the church. When I was in 7th grade, is when I started playing drums here on our praise team. Then, of course, went off to college and did different things and came back, and we started doing our thing here. And so I, as well, for about 2 years, have been serving on this worship team. Kind of next question here, and if you're staying tuned, don't worry, we're not just going to get to talking. We're also going to play some music here in just a minute, so stay tuned. If you have a question for us, individual or kind of collectively about the creative arts ministry, feel free to ask in the comments. We'll try to answer it. Next question for you guys would be like, so I know we just kind of answered it with Camden and Cole, but a lot of people that see on stage or watch other people play music or other people sing, it's always one thought, at least that goes in my head, like, I can't sing that good. I wish I could sing like that. Or I can't play that good. I wish I could play like that. Or they already have a full team up there. They don't need me. Or fill in the blank of many excuses. And so to kind of help knock that out of the park, before you started volunteering on the church worship team or music ministry, did you have any true musical experience, especially with like a band environment? Did you have experience?
Yeah, I auditioned for a youth praise band when I was coming out of 7th grade and started that my 8th grade year. And then I got into a band that the local community college after I graduated high school. And I was in that praise band for our church until that point. And I got into the band at the local community college, and I was there for probably a solid 4 or 5 years. Like, we were a pretty strong group. And then since then, I've been in various churches, various praise bands within those churches. Done things with friends.
And this is the best.
I got to open for the Afters one time.
And that's a great
it was
story.
super
That's
exciting.
a great story you have.
I got to eat dinner with them, and it was really neat. But outside of that, like, my dad taught me how to play guitar when I was 14, and so when people like, I still don't feel like I play all that well, but I remember I'd been playing for like 10 years, and I showed a song to my dad, and my dad was like, "Oh, you're still trying to figure out that strumming pattern, huh?" When I'm like, yes, I am. It's not an easy thing, so it takes a lot of practice, experience, but you're working towards something.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else care to share?
I know a little praise band work in St. Louis when we were there, but just as vocals. Because, I took one guitar lesson when I was 7th grade or so, and it hurt my fingers, and I said, I'm not doing that. So
Not no more.
True that.
So I didn't, but I have been singing in choirs, school choir, church choir since the 6th grade or before, and just I listen to music all the time. So, and I sing in the car and sing in the house, and so I just sing a lot, but no real praise band. That's it. And I still don't want to learn how to play the guitar.
it's
I
not
can play
limited.
the right
all right?
hand
You're gonna
with
hear
no
it.
sharps
It's
or
not
flats.
limited. All right. Anybody else care to share?
Well, like Camden, I was in band starting in 6th grade, and we're twins, so it tends to work that way a lot of times. But never anything like this. It was all brass instruments through band in high school and stuff. So this was first real experience with strings and percussion, like drum set,
Right.
really. But yeah.
My singing wasn't quite as elaborate and beautiful as everybody else's. I started singing when I was 7, and I grew up on a farm, so I was pretty much the only one on my stage. I sang to my grandmother's cows, which was basically Robert Palmer, Simply Irresistible. They couldn't argue with me, they just walked away. I sang everything else that would annoy my brothers. I got really good at it, so I thought I was doing pretty good. And then I grew up, and here I am on stage, terrifying myself and singing with a bunch of awesome people, and I love y'all for it.
You're
So-
facing your fears, Miss Susie.
Making a
Facing
joyful
fears.
noise. That's all
right.
that matters.
All it matters.
All right. Good on that. All right. 2 more quick questions here, and then we're going to play some music. One of those is, what is your favorite part of serving on the worship team? And I hope that there's a billion parts that you love about it. If you could just choose kind of one part, what is kind of your favorite part about either getting to sing, play an instrument, or be a part of this team?
It's the chill bumps I get when everybody's joined with us. That
Oh,
it
you
feels
stole
like
my
the Holy
answer.
Spirit is moving.
But
you
it's
you
true.
can say the same thing because it's a good
It's
one.
true. When we're singing something and you can tell that the congregation is into it and they're worshiping with us, even if it sounds awful up here, it may be a song that we've beat ourselves up with trying to learn, but when the congregation responds, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That is a wonderful part of it, but my favorite part is actually during our practices when we're practicing, because that really gives me a chance to just try various different things. A lot sound bad, but occasionally 1 or 2 sounds good, and it lets me really have a chance to learn more things and just figure it out as I go.
Absolutely. I always say that when you're on stage, you have the best seat in the house because you get to not only see all the things that God's doing in the midst of the service, but you get to hear it, and that is there's nothing that beats a congregation sing. We talk about choir experience, and it's a choir that's magnified times hundreds, and that you get to be the front row audience to that, and you get to hear it all. And it's something special about when one person sings by themselves, it can be good or bad. But when 100+ people sing by themselves, it doesn't matter how bad they are. Somehow, it always sounds good, and it's just an awesome experience when a group of people sing together. I don't know how else to say it. It
It's
is.
just
I agree.
like the best seat, like you said, best seat of the house. You get the look of their faces too. Sometimes it's distracting, so I close my eyes a lot because if I look at people, I get super distracted. But their faces, their hands, their release, their surrender. That's a really great part.
Absolutely. All right, going along with the favorite part of being on the worship team. A couple weeks ago, one of our first episodes, somebody asked, "What's the favorite song, or what's some of the favorite songs of the worship team?" And I was very honest, and I said, just amongst ourselves individually, we all have different tastes, and then amongst our church, we all have different tastes. And so you combine that all together, and we do a whole slew of genres and different styles of music and different ways of doing the same song in multiple different ways. And so for me, I couldn't think of one or even just a few songs that were like favorites. There's just so many that we love and that our congregation responds really well to. And so if you individually had to pick one song, we don't have to do it in church, but your favorite worship Christian song, what would it be?
Hands down, mine would be the Highlands. It talks about God being who he is and that he is forever who he is no matter where you're walking, whether you're going through highs, whether you're going through heartache. He is God. Nothing moves him.
And that one has a really good message. We've done it on Wednesday nights in our student ministry several times. We have not introduced it on a Sunday morning yet.
Oh.
It's coming. It's coming.
My favorite, and Ray's going to be surprised, it's not a City of Light song,
What?
which is what I love. I love City of Light. If you ever look them up, I listen to them a lot. But ever since I heard it in the mid 90s is, no, maybe it wasn't 90s, early 2000s. Now I don't remember. In Christ Alone, the Travis Cottrell version.
Yes.
Is my all-time favorite because it gives you the whole life of Christ in one song, and you cannot leave out a verse because part of the story is missing, and I cannot do it without crying.
Yeah.
Can't. So, but that is my all-time favorite worship song.
Awesome.
My favorite currently is I believe it's an Austin French song. Don't quote me on that, but it's called "Rest for Your Soul." It just talks about how no struggle is too big for God. He can handle anything you had to throw at him and then some.
My favorite worship song it's constantly changing because I can never decide on one.
Same.
So I'm going to give you two this time just because I'm special. All right. So as far as when we're up here worshiping and playing music, my favorite one would have to be Glorious Day. I think it's by Passion.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Love playing that song. And my favorite one, if I'm just driving down the road, want to listen to a song, it would have to be Things of Heaven by Red Rock Worship, which I think I've ambushed most of the stage here with that song, trying to get them to
Pretty
listen
good
to.
Several
song.
times.
I love that song so much.
Mr. Will?
I like many songs. I don't have any one favorite, but I like any song with a Celtic feel. I like, and I like the old hymns, and I like a lot of the new songs. But I just like the one I'm singing at the time.
Yeah.
Good answer.
And you know, we don't see Mr. Will play an instrument every Sunday, but super talented, especially, I'm sure on other instruments, but I know stringed instruments
Yeah.
are super talented at.
And that flute thingy. What is that?
That flute thing.
I
it's a
forgot what
flute
it was
thingy.
called.
It's a flute thing.
He played that at a
Christmas. It was
Christmas
Christmas,
Eve
yeah.
service.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Of, well, probably this last one, 2021, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no?
No.
No, it would have been
Was
the
it
year before.
2020?
One before.
Whew. Jeez. All right. We're going to have to break that flute back out. Any other songs you want to share? All really good ones, Susan?
I love anything Toby Mac.
Yeah,
Hi,
Toby
Mary.
Mac, yeah.
She sits right
Toby
there
Mac.
and she's always playing with me. I like David was it Cochran and Company? I want to go to
Oh, yeah.
church. I'm going to be singing that one someday with my back turned that way, but I'll sing it. Zach Williams, anything by him, but I'm rather eclectic, so I can sing just about anything.
Well, that's awesome. Thank y'all for answering those questions. If you're just joining us online, thank you for joining us. If you've been with us, thanks for staying with us. We're about to play some music. If Sam and Camden, y'all want to go ahead, and Cole, sorry, take your spots there. We're going to play some music for you guys. We're going to play two songs that we have played within our services, within our events across campus here. And feel free to just sing with us. The words won't be on the screen, but you can still sing or hum along or just read the words. We say if you don't know the song, focus on the words because that's the whole point of the song anyways, is the message that comes across in those words. The melodies, the music, all that is just fun to add into it. It's the words that are so good and the truth that we sing and proclaim to God or to the world or to ourselves. And we got some good songs tonight. So we're going to play a couple of songs. Join us if you have a question or think of something that you want to share with us or ask us. Put that in the comments, so we'll try to get to it. Otherwise, we're just going to sing some music and have some fun. This first one is called Your Glory by All Sons and Daughters, which is a good one.
It's also one of my favorites.
Let's see.
And my hope is in you.
next one we've only done twice. It's a little bit of a faster, upbeat song. It's called Your Great Name. We revised it a little bit to make it our version. Here we go. Thank you for joining us for the songs there. Let's see if we got any questions. It's time for You've Got Questions, We've Got Answers.
You've got questions, we've got answers.
I think all of our questions that were posted have been answered. But if you have a question, feel free to ask it. The songs are posted in there if you want to go look them up. We have done them somewhat recently. Your Glory was a little while back, but Your Great Name we've done recently, and we'll throw back in there. If you have stayed with us, or if you're just now joining us, thanks for staying with us. This is our 6th episode of In the Know, and the whole purpose is not just for you to hear about some of the things that are happening. Tonight we got to see some of our worship team members, hear just briefly from them, but they're part of a much larger umbrella thing called the Creative Arts Ministry, where there's over 20 people that are involved in all kinds of things across the church regarding artistic things, whether it be music, singing, drawing, visual arts, technical stuff, you name it, it's a part of it. And so many people already do several things, but taking it from just knowing about the things to actually doing them is extremely important. And that's why this is not a news source. That's why every single week we have a call to action, and we've had 5 call to action so far. If you've missed any of those, or if you have not done them, they are call to actions. It's a call, meaning you have to respond to it. Once you hear it, you're either denying that call or you're accepting the call. And don't be the person that denies the call. Accept the call. Go back and watch all 5 previous episodes. All the call to actions happen within the last few minutes of those episodes, so you can catch just the call to actions. Go back and catch them and act on them. Tonight, we're going to get another call to action. So it's time for our call to action.
This is your call to action.
All right, we know that creative arts is a new term to a lot of people. You may not be fully aware of it, and so I did define it earlier in the episode if you missed it. It's a new concept, but it's vital to the life of the church, and it's crucial to the furtherance of the gospel that in today's world, technology is a must. In today's world, instrumentation is a must. In today's world, so many things that we are trying to accomplish to interact with, to engage with our community and our world are necessary in today's world. And so the wonderful thing about creative arts is that there are so many options and things under that umbrella, almost unlimited if you're creative, all right? That means there's a way for every single person to be involved. And we've said these same few things every week. They're prayer, financially, or physically. I'm going to repeat them again tonight because we cannot hear it too many times. All right, specifically for creative arts ministry, ways that we can pray are pray for each member, not just of our worship team, but every single one that's in our creative arts ministry. Pray for them by name. Pray for future team members that these people, they get tired, they get worn out, that substitutes are needed, that rotations are needed, okay? That we need more just added to the team to allow other things to happen. We can never have too many people, all right? Never, ever have too many people. So pray for future team members. And ultimately, pray that the necessary people and the necessary equipment would be available to us, that we would accomplish the purpose, the mission, and the vision of First Baptist Church and what God has called us to do and called us to be. So important. And we have trust, we have faith that God will always provide the people, always provide the things that are necessary to accomplish His will. I would ask that you pray alongside with us, though, in faith that all those things would always happen and that the right people would always step up at the right time and do the right things when they're called upon, which is right now, okay? Next step is financially to give to the operating budget, right? We just have an ongoing budget. Everything that happens at First Baptist Church of Silsbee is all done through tithe, through people being generous with their money. That's all that. There's funding from nowhere else other than us giving our resources back to the church to make it happen. So above and beyond our tithing, that we would give to meet specific needs within our creative arts ministry. That may be purchasing equipment. That may be fill in the blank. All right, sorry, I can only think of purchasing equipment because it's all expensive and it takes a lot of it to do a lot of cool things. And so many ways for you to give specifically within the creative arts ministry. It's so broad, so many specific needs across the creative arts world. And if you want to know some very specific ones other than just a broad equipment statement here, get with me and we'll share some specific needs that you can fund that are small all the way up to big financial goals that we have. And lastly is physically serve. You can serve weekly on a rotation or just on an as-needed basis. We need volunteers daily. We said this almost every week in our In the Know episodes that something is always happening at the church. And pretty much when anything's happening at the church, it involves some creative art element. And so we need volunteers for all those things. All the people on stage, all the people off the stage. It's 100% voluntarily done, all these people making these things happen. And so we need volunteers every day here at the church. We do Academy Chapel every single morning. Of course, we have our Wednesday night student ministries. We have our young adult gatherings. We have Sunday mornings. Sunday nights we could even do some things. So there's so many things that you could do amongst our other things like Monday nights getting together and playing, okay? A huge array of things that you can serve on physically as needed or just to be a volunteer, that something's happening all the time. No experience or skill is required from you, all right? You'll be introduced to the areas that you're interested in or maybe some new ways that you didn't know existed. And then I or somebody will train you and make sure that you are confident and that you know what you're doing before you ever have to be thrown in the fire, unless sometimes you just get thrown in the fire, and that's just the way it is, okay? Camden and Cole can attest to being thrown in the fire. I think all of our team can attest to be thrown in the fire at some point in time, and that's why we're all better for it. We're all great at what we do because of that, okay? And so know that the goal is that you're not on your own, that you will be trained. So if you have no experience, we periodically offer trainings, but if you're interested, we'll do training at any time that you're interested. At minimum, come get a tour of what we have at the church, of what happens at the church. I'm here every day. I'd love to walk you through all of our spaces, all of the tech aspects, all the creative arts aspects, and just bombard you for hours about all of the cool things that have happened in the past 2 years and all of the cool things that would hope to happen in the next 2 years. And it's a lot, so brace yourself, all right? So serve prayerfully, financially, or physically. Hopefully all three, all of the above, that you would commit to serving. And yes, it's sacrificial. Yes, it's hard. It's worth it. It's worthy of your time. It's worthy of your money. It's worthy of your resources, and it's worthy of your prayer. Do it. I'm calling you to action to do that. I pray you would accept that call to action and our other call to actions previously before this episode. Worship team, thank you guys for joining us. Is there anything that anybody would like to add? Have your moment of fame here. No, nothing. All right.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, yes. Thank y'all for joining us. Next time you see this worship team or any of our creative arts team, and if you need a name, again, ask me and I'll tell you who's on our team. Thank them, because it's voluntarily, it's a specialized skill, it's a specialized area that each person is serving or doing. Singing is specialized, playing an instrument is specialized, working equipment is specialized. Our creative arts is doing some new things, just briefly here, throwing at the end. Like we mentioned, we didn't know how to play instruments before maybe getting involved in the church world, or we might have had some musical experience from choir or band in high school or school. But it's different playing in a band environment, different playing this style of music. And so we've been offering learn-to-play classes for piano, drums, and guitar, weekly learn-to-play class, and we've had a great turnout for that. And it's introduction classes for free. Susie can attest that they are incredible and have the best instructors in the world.
Amen.
Ray, Sam. All right. Great job, team.
I just
Other helpers that were there. So we offer learn to play classes, and there's more to come on those things. So if you haven't caught those learn to play classes, there's more coming that are free introductions to see if you have a skill or a passion for it, or just to get to know, wow, when you see Sam play the guitar or Cole play that guitar, it's not just a piece of cake. Like Amy said, the fingers hurt, all right? Guitar hurts the fingers. When you see somebody playing the piano, when you see Daniel shredding the piano, all right, that's not easy. I can't do it. I've tried, okay? I can't do it. Or when you see Camden rocking out on them drums back there, all right, that's not easy either, as we've seen with all of our learn to play drum students, that it's hard to do multiple things with all of our limbs at the same time. And so it's all really tough, but I encourage you to come to those learn to play classes, if for nothing else, just to get a little taste of what it is like to be a part. Thank you for joining us. Next week, we will be speaking about young adult ministry and the many things that are happening in the life of our young adult ministry within our church, young adults within our academy. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of opportunities, a lot of ways that we would love to live life together, encourage one another, because life is crazy, especially in your 20s and 30s. Life is hard. So we want to be together in that. So stay tuned for next week. I don't have anything else for us. I'm going to keep rambling about all the creative arts things. So just please get with me. Come grab a cup of coffee and we'll talk creative arts stuff. Otherwise, thank you for joining tonight. We'll see you next week.